Hi, Rich Spezzano from Digitally Fearless here. Today I'm going to try to do a retro pop-up photo manipulation. I also did the same tutorial on the desktop version, so if you want to check it out, look it up on YouTube. It's in the description. There is this TV photo, came from Pixels, and I just typed in TV, and then this girl jumping on a couch also came from Pixels. I just typed in jump or jumping. So what I like to do is keep my originals here. So I'm going to keep them there. So the first thing I'm going to do is duplicate these so I don't lose my originals. So if I select the TV and I press down with my finger and I click duplicate, and then I can hide both of those, and then I select her, the girl, press down and click duplicate. And now what I'll do is I will drag the girl outside of the group. She's on top. And then I'll take one of the TVs, put them outside of the group. You don't have to do this, but I'll hide the group. I just like to keep my originals. So now what I'll do is I'm going to hide the girl. I need to create this oval that's part of the TV so we can use it as a mask at one point. So I'm going to go to my pen tool right here, and I'm going to just start clicking. Let's get a close-up. I'm using 2 fingers to make this larger. And I'm just going to start clicking. Click once. I'm not going to do a perfect selection. It will take a lot more time, and I don't want this video to just run on forever. I'm just going to keep going. Get close up here. Just get close enough for this, what we need this video for. And then I'm going to press down on the pen and go to the node tool. So now I'm going to grab this and just kind of try and get this close enough for this TV. I'm just dragging these out. I could go a little bit more here and there. Close enough for what we needed to do. And I hope you could see this on the video. I think you should be able to. And then that's good. And now I'm going to give it a color. So let's go into the color palette here and make it white. So, and I can look now, I can give it maybe a little bit more here. Now that it's white, I could see what I'm working with. This is not very good here, but we'll just get it close enough, like I said. But you might want to go a little more on the edges here. Close enough for what we need it for. So I'm going to leave it at that. And let's go to the move tool. And then we'll go back to our layers. So now we have that. And I'm going to hide that right now. And I'm going to bring back the girl. And I moved the girl. If you look at where I positioned her, you can lower the opacity. If I select the girl and I click this menu on top, I'm lowering the opacity. And I want to position her where I think she might need to be, maybe a little bit higher up here, like that, like she's kind of jumping out of the TV is what I want her to be. So I'll leave it at that. That I think is going to work out pretty good. And then what we'll do is let's bring her back up to the top. Now I need to duplicate her. Press down and I click duplicate. And on that copy, I'm going to see where my live filters are. I'm so used to the desktop, and this is fairly new to me. So I believe live filters are right here. And I have to select live with that switch on top. And if I can look for halftone, I'm going to halftone. Where it says monochrome, I can switch back to here's circular and here's lines. Lines is what I want, but I want the size, I'm going to drag, I want the size to be fairly small. Now I don't know on YouTube whether you're going to be able to see this as well. I really don't like it that thick, but I think I was looking at it when I was doing it on the desktop and it's hard to show up on the screen. So I'm going to leave it thicker than I normally would. Maybe the contrast could be brought down a little bit. Let's see, up, down. It's not even showing much, and I could bring the opacity down a little, but I'm going to leave that. But let's try a little bit thinner. But the thinner I go, the harder it is. Now where I'm looking at it, it really looks perfect, but I'm not sure on YouTube if it's going to show. You see, as I go out, we're looking at all that distortion. That's not really what it looks like. And so I hope you're able to see this. So that looks good. See, now that it's a live filter, so now I'm done with it. I think that's where I want it to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select that one with the girl with the halftone, and I'm going to come up here to this menu, and I'm going to rasterize her. So now it's a pixel image. It is no longer a live filter. So now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to select not only this one, but I'm going to select the color image behind it, and I'm going to drag across. So I have two selected. And when I have two selected, if I go to the Move tool, I want to try, you see this line right here? I'm going to try and get her. In fact, I can even lower the opacity so I can see what I'm doing. I want to try and now turn this girl, and I can move this even in, but kind of make her work with the angle of the TV. And I'm doing the color one and the black and white one because the TV is going to be black and white, but of course the girl is going to be in color afterwards. And I think that looks good, so let's bring the opacity back up, and then that's good like that. So now, remember the curve that we did? That's this one right here. So now that you see that I did that curve, I'm bringing the curve back up. If I put that curve right on top of the icon, now there she is. So now we have the girl and she's masked out. So that's exactly what we want. So now let's get this next one. We only really want her upper body all around here to show outside and nothing else. So what I'll do now is I'm going to turn the top one off. I'm going to rasterize and actually rasterize and trim her in case there's anything off the top. So we'll select her. We hit this plus button, and I'm going, oops, wrong one. We select her and we hit this button and it says rasterize and trim. So now she's just a pixel layer herself. And now I'm going to go, and I hate that they have a separate persona here, but there's a separate persona up here on top, and that is for selections in the iPad version. But since they have it, and then I'm going here, which is the Smart Selection tool, and I'm going to get a close-up, and I'm going to just start seeing how well it selects. And I should make my brush a little bit smaller, so I'm dragging down here, and I don't even know what size brush. I should have checked, and it looks like basic brush, which is good. Okay, so I'm just selecting this and getting pretty close. I don't even have to go down this far, I don't believe, but I'm going to just get what I can. And then her face, of course. And now let's get close up here. And if I bring my brush really small, and you could see up here, you'll see my brush, whoops, you'll see my brush size right there. And now I'm just going to start tapping and maybe go to her fingers. And I'm just going to go to the end. Again, I'm doing kind of a little bit of a rough drawing here. And I'm just going to grab her, the main things that we need. And I'll make my pixels really, really small here and get her hand in here maybe. Something like that. And then I'm going to hit refine, because I think we got most of what we need. I'll hit refine. And then with a brush, I'm just going to go right over there to try and get her hair a little better. I think her hair looks pretty good there, but let's see. That looks good. And maybe fix her fingers here and there. And this is pretty amazing how easy it works. And it's not perfect, but again, I'm trying to go fairly quickly in this case, but I'm trying to get it as best I can in such a short time. And I think that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to slide up here and say new layer with mask, because it's much cleaner, and hit apply. And there she is. So that's pretty good, I think. So let's go back to now the regular Affinity Photo persona. If you go here, back to here, now remember that mask was a curve. So what I can do now is click here, and maybe I'm going to try and play with this a little bit and see if I can get this girl to look like she's popping out. So she's not a perfect, if you think about it. I don't want that side to move, so let's add another one here. And we'll move this down like that. And I'm just kind of playing around here. Let's see what that looks like. Because I want it to look like she's popping out, not the other way around. You know, I don't want it to be so flat, but she's popping out of the TV. We can even go lower, and I think I might go lower. So let's go back to the node tool and bring this even down more. And I think that's kind of interesting. And then I think one more thing I'm going to do is on new layer, new pixel layer. So I'm going to add new pixel layer. And on that pixel layer, in black, what I'll do now is I'll take my paintbrush and make it a soft brush. The hardness here is 100%. I'm going to go very soft, and I'm going to, let's see, what size are we at? I'm going to bring up my size maybe to there, something like that. No, maybe right below here. So we go to Effects, Gaussian Blur, and make sure you select Gaussian Blur, and then on the bottom, the radius can be big or small. You see how that changes everything? And you see the little shading there? That kind of helps it, I think, to make it feel like she's coming out. I can lower that a little bit and bring that out like that. So it kind of looks like she's popping out of the TV now. And then, yeah, that makes it much better, I think. This is my own personal opinion, but let's go back to layers. And so now the last thing I think, let me shrink this a little bit, is let's take the TV layer. I'm going to rasterize that now, so that would be up here, and it's rasterize and trim. And so now it is a pixel layer, the TV. And what I want to do with that now is, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, is I'm going to go to my selection tool, rectangular marquee tool. I'm just going to kind of select the outside here. I'd say really a tiny bit on top. And then I'm going to do, I need to duplicate it. So now I'm going to go back to the persona. So what we're going to do now is press down there and say copy, and then press down again and say paste. And now you'll have that selection. So now we press down one more time and say deselect. And now we have just that piece. So I'm just going to drag it up, because in this particular photo, I think it works because of the background. You may have to do other things with other photos, but I think this kind of works. And I think it, and let me try one last thing. Let's see if we can crop this, crop it, because I think that's kind of better. I think we're trying to get more of the girl. So let's do that. And now that she's cropped, I say apply. And there you go. So this is the final results, and it's a pop-out girl from a retro TV. So I hope you liked this tutorial, and if you did, please click like and subscribe, and have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.